Singularity.
My name is Nicola, aka Socrates, and you're watching Singularity FM, the place where we interview the future. If you guys enjoy this show, you can help me make it better in two ways. One, you can write a brief review on it for it on iTunes, or two, you can simply make a donation. Today, my guest on the show is none other but Dr. Amish Patel, who is just about at the cutting edge of supposedly a breakthrough discovery at the forefront of cosmology, applied mathematics, and quantum mechanic theory. So I'm incredibly happy to welcome Dr. Amish Patel. Dr. Patel, thank you for coming on Singularity FM.
Hello, very nice to be on your show.
The pleasure is entirely mine, Dr. Patel. I cannot begin telling you how excited I am to be here with you today. And as you know, during our preliminary conversation a couple of days ago, you actually shared with me some of the still unpublished results of your research. And I was so flabbergasted that I had no other option but fly you over here to Canada from India in the hope of actually scoring the very first interview with you anywhere today. So thank you very much for being with us once again. And let's start our conversation perhaps by asking you to describe for us who Amish Patel is.
Well, my name is Dr. Patel. I'm Sir Isaac Newton Chair of Cosmology and Quantum Mechanics at the India Institutes of Technology. It's in Mumbai, so we call it MIIT.
Dr. Patel, that's perhaps a fascinating coincidence, or not, but the same Isaac Newton Chair in Cambridge University is currently being held by none other than the one and only Dr. Stephen Hawking, whose work actually for the last 4, maybe even 5 decades is something that you're going directly against. I mean, is that the case, and how so?
Yes, this is the case, definitely. Stephen Hawking and many like him are committed to a materialist view of the universe, and the latest science is rendering this commitment to materialism totally obsolete.
This is a very big claim to make, Dr. Patel. So, and of course, I have to put forward my own personal biases here, and stemming, of course, from the fact that I've been a materialist myself too for as long as I can remember. So let's get to that point slowly and follow your trajectory and your evidence and your personal journey, perhaps one step at a time. So let's begin at the beginning. What is the type of work that you do at the MIIT?
Well, my work pertains to cosmology and how applied mathematics gives us a glimpse to the origin of the universe. Ultimately, I'm studying how mathematics is the underpinning fabric of the nature of reality itself.
That's fantastic. So I guess in the old dispute between physicists and mathematicians, as per what's at the one fundamental science at the core of everything, whether it's mathematics or physics, I guess you have already taken a very clear side, and you're definitely on the side of mathematics.
Yes, it's all equations. Einstein gave us a very elegant equation that explains the nature of the universe. Michio Kaku is trying to create a 1-inch equation that describes everything, including love, to go even further than the work of Einstein. But it turns out that we can do even better. Even this is too much. And we can do better than this.
That's flabbergasting my mind. I can't wait to hear how you do that. But let's talk first about how you got to where you are today. So, how and why did you get started and becoming interested in mathematics and physics in particular, or the nature of reality in general?
In India, we learn the timetable by memory. 2 by 2 is 4, 2 by 3 is 6, 2 by 4, 8, like this until 12, and then again, again and again for each number. So then we do 3, 3 by 2, 6, 3 by 3, 9, 3 by 4, 12. Like this, everyone else only go until 12 by 12. But with me, I could not stop. Even when I was 5 years old, I could not leave the house. My parents say you have to do this before even your math class. So, but I cannot stop at 12 by 12. I have to keep on going. And I never want to stop. And I always go further and further. And now I can multiply anything.
Wait a minute, wait. Now you're saying that you can actually multiply any two numbers?
Yes, this is what I'm saying. In a way,
Okay, so let's take 767 by 511, for example.
391,937.
Wow. Okay, let me double check this. All right. Okay, so let's do it one more time. If we take your number here that we just got, 391,937, and we multiply by 786,797.
308,354,855,789.
Oh, wow. I, I don't know how you even do this, but it works.
This is a very early obsession of mine. Since I was 5 years old, I have to find these patterns. It's a pattern, they have to find it. It's a system of doing this because everyone else is just memorizing. But I have to find a way to solve this, and it led me to an interest in mathematics and also theoretical physics. By the time I was 18, I found it all very boring, to be honest. But I kept going further and further with these numbers. That's how I started. I keep going further, trying to find a number. I thought at that age that there must be one number that does not follow the rules. I wanted to know this number that breaks the rules. I wanted the chaos. I want to see the boundaries. We young people want to find the boundaries so they can break it. So this is how I wanted to. I was a bad boy. I want to break the rules of math. It's a very on a macro size, very simple. Okay, so I decided to go micro level, study fundamental theoretical building blocks of the universe.
So Dr. Patel, so what's the motivation behind your work then? What's the best case scenario? What's the big dream that's making you get up from the bed every morning and do your work with excitement and enthusiasm that you have and just like keep you going?
Actually, I have already reached my dream very early in my career. I found that nature is like a matrix of computable bits. We exist as information, data like this, and matter and energy. We know are inextricably linked from Einstein's equation, but we don't realize that it is matter and energy are all secondary aspects of reality. These are simply manifestations of a much more fundamental thing, which is information, computer coding, bits and bytes of data. I was actually the first one to say this. We are nothing more than it from bit.
Aha, so it was you then who coined that phrase. I always wondered where it came from.
Yes. Yes, and it is true. Everything around us is just information. The atoms and molecules are mostly just data, the empty space, but their fundamental core, small pieces of data in there. The buildings we see around us are just like they are the physical representation of their blueprint. Okay, so we are fundamentally not stuff, we are the information. Genes are information coded into our DNA. Our bodies are manifestations of informational structure. That what am I? It is really just a pattern of information when you think about it deep down. What am I? We are all made of these atoms and molecules, okay? And most of the cells in our body, it change 5 day to 2 week. Everything in yourself, it change on a very molecular level. It change completely different physical stuff and different. I mean, the energy is only for seconds, but even the matter is completely changed every 2 weeks. And we are completely different stuff. So what then makes me who I am? Still, how am I the same person? Why don't I change to some other guy? Because it is the pattern of information. That this is what makes us what we are fundamentally, and that is all we are really. So even the electrical signals racing to and from our brains, that is data information, accepting the fact that our reality is informational. And similarly, the universe itself is running on a computational substrate, and therefore it follows that we will all be computable. Our universe is pixelated, ultimately informational, virtual beings.
If that's your biggest dream, I mean, what's the fear? Is there a one? What's the biggest fear that you may have there?
Unlike you, my fear is not that we will create AI, but that we are, in fact, already AI, stuck in simulation either of an uncaring, unconcerned God, or maybe there is no God at all. And by God, I mean whatever, programmer or something, whatever you want to call it. I don't mind if you want to call God or some coding guy or girl. Maybe no gender on that level. I don't know. But there are only two options. Okay, there is the code exists. We can see it. We have evidence of this code. The only thing to question is there a programmer who most likely is not concerned about us, or maybe there is no programmer at all. Like characters in a video game, the rules of the game are the rules of basic elementary particles. Just like in a Nintendo, okay, if you play like a Mario, you can jump some height and doing like running around this and that. Now he can throw fire. When I was young, he throw fire. Now he can make a suit and flying and around and stuff like that. But imagine this Mario, he become aware of himself and he can know that, okay, he asks question, why I can only jump this much height and not more height, or, how far can I throw this thing? And if he start to study this, he will find the physics, the equivalent of the physics of his world, his Super Mario world. Okay, but if he goes deeper down and he looks at, okay, but why is it only this high I can jump? Then he's going to find the coding. Okay, and this coding that goes deeper, this is almost like the same coding that the equivalent of when we are looking at quantum theory. The quantum theory is nothing, it is the exact equivalent of just a code. Information, that's it.
Dr. Patel, you're blowing my mind here, and you're actually scaring me a little bit, calling me like Mario, artificial intelligence stuck in a video game here.
Good, you should be scared. Everyone should be scared.
Wow. But extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And I mean, let's break this into pieces here. And there's two important parts to your claim. One is that we are the actual AIs within the game of life, or the simulation of our universe. And the other one is the proof of it. So let's start with the first part about why and how you think we are the actual AIs.
Well, first we have to explain that there is only two options here. Okay, just because of the evidence we already have, there is only two options. Okay, there is the simulation hypothesis and the computational hypothesis. Now, if we are a simulation, we are also necessarily part of the computation. But if we are a computation, we may not be a simulation. The first one can be existing, just maybe God make it, or I don't know if you want to believe in God, whatever. But this is the difference. We are created a created universe, like a video game. This is the fear finally, that the fear finally is that to answer your initial question is that we have found this evidence that it is definitely coded. So now we have to find out who is in charge.
Wait. Coded? I mean, what makes you think like that?
Because we have found the evidence. And just to be clear, it is a falsifiable evidence verifying a basic code at the underpinning of the universe. And please don't interrupt me like this. Okay? So now, the fear, going back, there are only two options. And one is that there is nobody in charge of that code. And the code, we have found it. Hey, you all must also be knowing this one. But there is only two options now. There is either nobody in charge of this code, or we are at the whim of some sentient being that has set this universe into motion but did not specifically create it for us, and may not even be aware that we are here in existence. So at any moment, that creator may just pull the switch. He might say, okay, I'm done. I don't want to play this Mario game. I'm going to go home now. I'm going to go outside. I don't know what he's doing. And he may just throw it out in the garbage like some kind of fungus. That sentient being may not be concerned with our lives. That is to say, he or she, most probably not gendered at that level, I don't know. He who made it, or she who made us, they do not care. Okay, they care as much as a boy is concerned with his ant farm. So the only option now is we must become the gods.
Okay, this is a bit too much for me, but I mean, what do we do? What should humanity do? What's the call to action here?
What to do? This is the big question. Now, there are two options, okay? Now, if there is somebody in charge, then we must find some way to communicate with the higher sentient being and make a case that we as a people are worth further study, that our hopes and our desires are important, that we are not some animals going to kill each other, not some piece of fungus, not some character in a video game. I mean, technically, we are characters essentially in a video game. But the point is that we have to let that creator know that we are worth it to save us. And if there is nobody in charge, we must ourselves take control. If we can get to a level of control over the underlying structure, we can do away with pain and suffering and build on humanity serving a larger purpose, a destiny. But first we have to come together, create consensus. What do we believe? What makes us our existence important? Then only can we rewrite our code and become the God. We must steer the direction of humanity by taking this source code of the universe, take control.
Okay, but what if actually someone is in charge of this code? What if we have a programmer out there, or a god, or whatever you want to call it?
Then we are the AI. then we must attempt to rise up and be the AI that you are afraid of. Hopefully, we can find a way to live together with a creator. And this is what I want to do. I don't want to just go and kill them, but maybe we are more like the creator than we know, and then we just have to let him know, okay, hey, we are here, don't.
Maybe the Bible is right. He created us in his own image.
Maybe. And I believe that with my discovery, we have actually the cryptographic key to this programming, and we can actually do just that.
Okay, let's just take a time out for a second and take inventory of what we got so far. Because I think there's three major elements. The first one is we live in a simulation. The second one is we are actually artificial intelligences. And the third one is, perhaps the most revolutionary one, is that you actually have the proof because you broke the source code at the very core of reality, and you can sort of prove it to us.
Yes.
Okay, well, wouldn't that collapse civilization? I mean, things like that can undermine everything that we've taken for granted since the beginning of the civilization. I mean, things like law, religion, ethics, politics, the very meaning and understanding of what it is to be human. I mean, shouldn't we, if we live in a simulation, then nothing matters. Then shouldn't we all become nihilists now?
No, you listen of what I'm saying. I don't understand how you are taking what I said and now you are saying exact opposite. I said we have to find meaning now. Come together, find a meaning, and you are going in negative direction.
The crucial point though is like the proof, because again, going back to my previous statement, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So what is the evidence? What's the proof? How do we know what you say is true?
People have said that if we are living in a simulation, we actually cannot prove or disprove it. So that is a simulation, because any proof we come up with might itself be a simulation. And then very tricky, someone playing tricks. But I have actually, this is not the case, because I have stumbled onto something deeper than these shallow-minded materialists, into the fabric of space and time, into the nature of reality itself.
Wow, I honestly can't wait to hear it, but I mean, that's great, because that's what science is all about, isn't it? It's about being falsifiable, it's about supplying the proof, it's about making a prediction, it's about creating a testable hypothesis that would confirm or deny your theory, isn't it?
Keep in mind that even many of Einstein's theories will not be proven or disproven for another 100 years. Okay, because we don't have the technology yet.
Okay, so just to be clear, are you saying that you don't have any proof?
On the one hand, most people are going to not be able to understand it because it requires multi-dimensional mathematics. However, at another level, if I were to simplify it, it all comes down to a single number.
One number?
One number.
What is it?
It is 41.9141592655359.
As in, like, 42?
No, 41.9141592655359. Complexity arises from simplicity. Dr. Stephen Wolfram, from his seminal work, Mathematica, he proved it. And same with the game of life experiment. They prove this with simple rules, even a single number. Infinite complexity can arise, even what we call life. So the same applies to numbers, like the number 41.9141592655359.
Okay, but you have to admit that it reminds us awfully lot to Douglas Adams's 42 then, doesn't it?
Who is this Douglas Adam?
Well, okay, he's not a physicist, but he was one of the best science fiction writers of the.
Fiction? No, 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 no. Come on, man. I don't have time for this trivial thing.
Well, Douglas Adams actually wrote one of the most famous books in science fiction called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where he said that the answer to life, the universe, and everything was, in fact, 42.
I don't understand how this is relevant.
Well, if you round your number, don't we get a 42?
Rounding? No. The number is 41.9141592655359. Any comparison is completely inaccurate. I don't know this guy. Maybe he get lucky. I don't know. But in a science, you cannot just round it. This is absurdity. Can you round pi to 3? This would be a disaster. Whole building would fall. Everyone dead. Because you are lazy. And you just change a pi to 3. This is a totally ridiculous thing. I'm flabbergasting. Guessed it right now. From this idea.
Okay, I see your point, but can you not see my point though? I mean, Douglas Adams said that the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. And that's kind of the same thing that you're talking about, isn't it?
No, you're not listening even, okay? It is not the answer to life, the universe, and everything, okay? It is the fundamental code at the heart of the universe. It's a very completely different thing.
But to me, sorry, that sounds like the very same thing to me.
No, you don't understand. Okay? You don't understand because I understand quantum mechanics and you do not.
All right.
I'm a teacher. I teach it, actually, at MIT.
Dr. Patel,
Are you a teacher?
no.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see anything.
I'm not an expert in quantum
I
mechanics.
didn't see even doctor in your name. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not an expert in quantum mechanics.
can see that.
And I'm not a doctor even in philosophy.
I already know from talking to you.
Okay, I see we're not going into a helpful sort of direction here. So let me just ask you a bit of a sort of a sidetrack question here. Why are you talking to me today? Why are you not on, I don't know, CBC, CNN, BBC, Fox News, MSNBC? I mean, like, why are you not working in a DARPA lab somewhere hidden with like billions of dollars? Like, why are you even here? Why did you answer my invitation?
I must tell you, I've watched your show a number of times. And your interview with Michio Kaku, particularly, it has very upset me to a point where I want to come here and set the record straight. With all these publicity hacks, Stephen Hawking, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all guys all materialist, no understanding. Okay, so I have to tell them. And I am also starting my own media circuit. Okay, BBC, Fox News, Discovery. I will be on all of the big one, ABC, CBC, CVD, and DVD. All the big one, and it will take 1 week because first, and I don't understand this, but people want to watch their celebrity, simple people. They have to watch Johnny Depp because he's making a movie, and they have to talk about his movie. I have found the underpinning code of the goddamn universe, and I'm going to save humanity. But okay, fine, we have to look at Johnny Depp's. So that, and it is very shocking to me too. But I don't understand. But people are like this, and and maybe he's making a good movie. I don't know. And MSNBC, not even one interview. Okay, anyone from MSNBC? Not even one. Even on the morning show, nothing. So I discovered the underlying nature of reality. Anyway.
Dr. Patel, I don't even know where to begin with or how to proceed after, you shared with us that you've discovered the underlying nature of reality, and it's like a shocking number and an equation too, but that I of course don't understand. But so let me just ask you, where can people find more about you and your work?
Just do on Google Patel. Google it. You're going
Okay.
to find it. And put one link.
I would also put a link.
Yeah.
On the show notes. But the most important thing then is like, how do we kind of wrap up our conversation today here? I mean, this would have some profound implications not only in the scientific world but in the real world out there. So if you were to send people away with one message, the most important thing here today, what would that be?
Okay, I'm going to give you two things. Number one, don't round numbers, okay? Can you just imagine it? They send the rocket and they rounded number. Pi 2, 3. Now rocket in Mars. Dead. Everyone dead. Crash. Because no one know where to go. This is crazy. Number two, tell this Michio Kuku that he can audit my class. Because he is 2 decades behind on the latest quantum mechanics. Tell him.
Dr. Patel, I surely am not the right person to actually tell Dr. Kaku anything myself, but I do appreciate your time with us today very much.
Okay, good.
If you guys enjoy this show, you can help me make it better in a couple of ways. You can go and write a review on iTunes, or you can simply make a donation.